back to the On God's Time podcast. Today we have a very good friend of mine. His name is RJ Miller. He runs track and field at East Texas Baptist University. RJ is a track and field All-American, an FCA huddle leader, and the president of FCA at East Texas Baptist University. I would say the biggest compliment that I would give RJ, and a big reason I wanted to bring him on the podcast, is that he displays extremely good leadership skills, and he shares the gospel well, loves people greatly, and he just genuinely loves Jesus. So I'm excited to have my brother on today. RJ, tell us a little bit about who you are and why you do what you do.
Absolutely, man. First of all, thank you, bro, for having me. It's definitely an honor to be on your podcast right now. We've had a great relationship over the years, and just being able to serve with you has definitely been a blessing. I know we just got back from a trip in Colorado together, which is absolutely amazing. And so it's truly an honor to be on your podcast. So I really do appreciate it. But a little bit about me, man. Originally from Shreveport, Louisiana, born and raised. Was a big basketball, baseball guy growing up. Was blessed with the opportunity to start running cross country my senior year of high school, and that kind of developed me into getting recruited to ETBU, and now becoming a track athlete. I'm in a 400, and obviously, like you said, the Lord's blessed me with multiple conference championships and an All-American trophy, which I cherish so much. But even more, it's been a blessing to just to have the platform that I have right now to be able to share the gospel to athletes, to just people in general. Man, it's been a journey for sure that the Lord has definitely constructed, and that the Lord has definitely taken lead on. And I'm just following, man. I'm just, seeing the opportunities and taking them on as much as I can, and just trying to do the best I can for the kingdom of God. So
It's crazy. Like, I never would have known you were All-American, because when we were at FCA camp last summer, like, I didn't know anybody, like, at all. Like, it was my first year being a huddle leader, and I looked up, like, everyone's Instagrams, and whenever I looked up yours, it was like, it wasn't even that you shared anything, but I think it was like an article or something like that. It was like RJ Miller, track and field All-American. I was like, yeah. I was like, especially that someone who runs the 400, what'd you run in, like 48, 49?
47, yeah, 47.
47?
Yeah,
47 is crazy, dog.
Yeah,
Like, for me, I think the best I ever ran was like a 53, 54, something like that. Like, never ran better than that. Yeah, I was more of a mid-distance guy, 800 mile, but it was actually really cool. We were at the same track meet, and that was really fun. I think a couple of huddle leaders actually like talked about coming, and then they were like, nah. Like, but we were at the same track meet, and it was really cool, like, being able to like, I remember I was running, and like, not that I thought about slowing down. I mean, the thought definitely like creeped into my head, I guess, because that's always going to happen as a runner. Like, you're always going to have some doubt. But like, seeing RJ, on like the 200 mark, like, being like, you're good, like, keep your pace up, kick it, like, you're good, and like talking to me, like, I think I ran my best 800 time of the year, and it was like, it was just fun. And then being able to cheer you on in the 200, like,
yeah, you killed it, dude. It was fun to watch. I'm so glad you came up to me, because I was so locked in that day. And to see you, bro, kind of made my day, honestly. And it wasn't the best track meet. Yeah, it wasn't the best track meet for me, but you being there and your mom being there definitely made it worthwhile for me, for sure. So it was cold.
Oh my gosh.
It was freezing, bro.
Bro, I'll tell you one thing I don't miss about track is, like, the first meet of the year. You weren't at it. The very first meet of the year, it was at Hendricks, and that was the most miserable meet of my life. Like, it was raining, and it was raining, it was cold, and it was windy. And so the first time in my life I ran with long sleeves on, and like, I got sick. Like, I went home, and like, I literally like could not get out of bed because I was so sick. And then like, I had class. It was terrible. So I'm actually, for my people that don't know, your boy is retired from college track, and I'm only playing college basketball now. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. I'm not like complacent by any means, but I'm pretty content with like my track career.
you're gonna kill us in basketball. I definitely see a lot of success in that, and I also understand, bro. Like I'm so glad our coach doesn't schedule really anything until late March because
Mm,
we miss all the cold meets because we're still
mm.
kind of coming off of an indoor season, but it definitely helps. But that Arkansas one was rough for sure. But you're gonna do. I'm excited to see you play. Honestly,
Thanks,
hopefully I get
man.
the chance to make a couple games to share with. I have a little bit more freedom in my schedule with being in my masters and
Mm.
stuff like that right now, but my goal is just definitely come out there and watch you ball out for sure. So
Well, that means a lot to me, dude. I'm hoping we can, which obviously we were talking about before. I hope that we can go watch a couple huddle leaders college games and whatever they're playing, just because like it's so crazy, bro. With FCA, like um, this is gonna sound terrible, but like sometimes I felt like not that we had obviously like when we were with our kids like with our huddles like we were growing and being there for them like big brother relationship like we said,
right,
but you want to talk about just purely having fun, like hanging out with the huddle leaders is like the most fun thing in the world.
absolute blast. And like I mean, you just mentioned that we went to Colorado.
Mm,
Uh, dude, that's probably one of the most fun I've ever had. For
yes.
what 5 days in Colorado,
Mm,
dude, those hurdle leaders out there was absolutely amazing. Like just the all nighter report was insane.
I can't believe y'all
Uh,
did that, bro. I can't
dude,
believe y'all did that.
I'm still recovering from that right now. I got back to Texas and I'm working with a church plant out here right now, and we had a camp that following day for the next 3 days. And I just told you, I haven't slept more than 4 hours since
It's
I've been
insane.
back from Colorado, bro. It's nuts. And like today, bro, I finally got a long break, and I just absolutely crashed, bro. But it was worth it. It was definitely worth it.
So, for people that don't know, it was our last night at the Colorado camp, and so there's this dude named Carter. Is it Carter Clason? Closon? I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, something like that.
But Carter. So Carter came up to me. He came up to me and Charlie and Macy. Like I think we were just talking one time, and he was just like, "Yo, like we're going to the store. We're gonna get some bangs. We're gonna get some whatever the energy drink is called." He's like, "And we're gonna stay up all night. Like, are y'all in?" And I think Charlie was like, "Oh yeah, yeah. I think I might. I think I might." Did Macy stay up too?
Yeah, yeah, everybody
So
was
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. I think Macy was like, yeah, yeah, I'll stay. And I looked at him and I said, bro, you're kidding, right? Like you're joking, right? And he said, no, like I'm 1000% serious. And I looked at him and I was just like, bro, respectfully, like I love you guys. I might stay up with y'all for like a little bit, but then I'm going to bed because we had to get up at 6 for a
Because
gut
you had to
check.
get up.
And I was just like, I don't know. I thought y'all were playing. I really did. Like I thought there's no way they're all gonna stay up. And then I woke up at like 6 and I saw Eli in his bed and I said, "Oh, Eli, you finally came to bed. Like how long did you sleep?" He said, "I've been asleep for 30 minutes."
Fact. They all they they all went. I think we all left around like 5. Yeah, like 5:30, and we just kind of like went back to our rooms, and like some of us took showers to wake up. Like I took a shower to wake up to like just get myself mentally
Mm,
prepared with what was about to happen. Because a lot of people don't know we had a freaking CrossFit
yeah.
gauntlet the next
Gauntlet.
morning, bro. Like it was absolutely brutal. And then we traveled. Me and you and the other guys
Mm.
traveled all day. Uh, and so it was rough, bro. And then obviously me not getting sleep caused me to get elevation sickness, which
Yeah.
I knew nothing about, but that was not fun to recover for the next 2 or 3 days. So next year, Caleb, we're staying an extra night. We're gonna leave the
Yeah,
next
yeah, yeah, we gotta stay in, yeah, we gotta stay an extra night. Bro, I was just like, I don't know, like I just was like, you know what? I know myself by now. If I stay up all night, I'm just gonna hate my life the next day. And
Yeah,
so I'm just not gonna do that. Now,
yeah.
in some circumstances, I would stay up, but there was no, what's the word? No predicaments or any situations to make me want to stay up all night. So I decided not to. So
That's fair.
yeah, but Argo, crazy. We've been talking 10 minutes. I haven't even asked you the question of the podcast.
Hey,
So
I love it.
I gotta ask you. Yeah, that's when you know it's good. But I gotta ask you, my friend. This is called the On God's Time podcast. So I gotta ask you. when did you decide to stop living on your time and start living on God's time, and why? Basically, why did you decide to start living for Jesus? What does he mean to you? What do you believe your purpose is, and why do you think that living for him matters so much?
Yeah, man. I think the biggest moment for me was when the one thing I put my life in, the one thing that I enjoyed doing, which was sports, was taken away from
Mm,
me. Like you've heard my story, but for
mm,
those of you who haven't, eighth grade, I completely blew out my knee, tore my ACL, my MCL, PCL. It was one of the most uncommon knee injuries at that time. I think it was back in like 2013, especially for a kid my age. And it was one of the most darkest times in my life too, as well. And it was a moment where I finally heard God's voice. God finally sat me
mm,
down, and He really showed Himself and He spoke to me. It was like, listen, dude, you tried to do what you wanted to do, tried to live the life you wanted to live, and it only left you, sad, angry, and depressed. And like if you just give me a shot, if you just try me, watch what I do with your life.
mm,
And that summer is when I finally, was like threw in the towel. I was like, all right, that's it. Like I'm all in for the Lord. I'm all in. I'm committed. And from that point on, obviously it hasn't been easy, and then there's been some ugly times in there as well. But it has definitely been a blessing of just God really revealing Himself in my life and just opening doors left and right and leading me to certain situations that I
mm,
possibly would have never been in if I didn't give my life to Christ. If I didn't believe, if I didn't have a heart to serve and to serve Him daily on a daily basis. And so it has been truly an amazing experience for me, an amazing journey that I'm still on. That He's still doing amazing things to this day, man. I'm in the middle of Texas. I've been in Texas all summer,
mm,
working for a church plant that has given me so much growth in my ministry mindset and my ministry outlook on life, and just allow me to help me grow in my faith too as well. And so I couldn't be more happy and more excited to see what the Lord has for me next. But that was when I kind of committed and said, you know what, look, this is no longer on my time. It's definitely God's
mm.
timing right now. And I'm gonna follow in God's timing wherever that leads me. I'm just gonna be obedient and listen. So
Yeah, I love that so much, man. I'm very guilty of trying to do things my way, and recently, I don't know if I told you this, but uh, yesterday I recorded with Willie, and
let's
he,
go.
yeah, and we talked about the whole being a bad picker thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and bro, he said something that stuck out to me and has continued to stick out to me. He said it doesn't matter what your decision, like what the decision is, we are always going to be bad pickers.
Mm,
So it doesn't matter if you're like, it's a relationship. It doesn't matter if it's friendships. It doesn't matter if it's a career, occupation. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Let God pick. He's a good
mm,
picker. And
amen.
so, like for me, I talked about it, with him. Like, there was a lot of decisions I made, like my first year of college, where I was like, okay, God, I'm going to pick. And like, for instance, like going to Williams Baptist, like he was like, no, 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 I want you to go to Williams Baptist. And I was like, well, I don't know if that's best. And he's like, bro, what you mean? Like, you don't think I know what's best? And so for me, I chose to go to Arkansas State instead, and it was just the absolute worst
Yeah.
situation of my life. A whole bunch of stuff. Ended up, not getting an academic scholarship. Ended up basically having to leave. Not even like I knew I was gonna leave. Like the first day of class. Didn't even. I never even really got a chance like to practice. Like I was there to walk on, but I knew I had to leave immediately, and it was just such an
Yeah.
awful situation. But I made that decision, and I was like, okay, God, like this is what I want to do. And eventually he did stop pressing it on my heart, and he was like, all right, cool, like we're gonna let you do what you want to do, and then when you're ready to listen, come back to me. And it was just, man, it was like that. It was like, Lord, like I'm not happy here, like, and then
I feel that, dude. I 100% feel that, bro, because that's kind of how it was for me too, with that transition from high school to JUCO to Division 3.
mm,
Like I didn't want to go to JUCO, bro. Like I did not want to stay in my hometown for another 2 years. Like I dreaded it so much, and it
mm,
was not a good time, but it was definitely a time that was needed. It was a time of growth,
amen, yeah,
of maturity, a time where the Lord was really revealing Himself. He placed me in a very strong community, even through that rough time that I still talk to this day and couldn't be more thankful for, to help me get me out of the situations that I were in. And then He led me to ETBU, man, where it was like I didn't even question. I think I looked at one other school other than ETBU didn't even
Mm.
question when I walked on campus where I needed to be and where he had me going,
Right.
and the work that he had for me there. And it was just like I was all in from the time I stepped on campus, man, to the time I'm still there to this day, and I'm continuing to be all in. And so it's been a journey in that too as well. So I completely agree with you
Mm.
on that. It's like when you don't listen to God, God has funny ways to remind you that He's
Hmm.
in control, that He's gonna get His way one way or another. And it's definitely worth it when you listen the first time.
Yeah, for sure. And like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, Jonah. I mean, he was just like, nah, God, like I ain't gonna go to, it was Nineveh, right? Where he was
Yep.
like, God was like, go to Nineveh, tell them about me, make the city repent. And he was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I'm not gonna do that. And he literally physically tried to run away from God. And God was just like, all right, man, we're gonna get you here one way or another. And so, like for me, I guess, I've started realizing, it's just like, God is going to get you where He wants you. It's like you might as well just listen
Mm.
and save yourself a lot of pain. And so for me, I guess I'll ask you this. I didn't even plan on asking you this, but like, right now, what are some habits you try to build every day and some things that you try to do in order to grow, gosh, glow, you glow, in order to grow closer with Jesus every day, and put yourself in a position to love people and, do things the right way.
Man, uh, obviously I feel like it's something we all struggle with. It's reading our
Mm,
Bible every day.
yeah,
We still struggle with, but it is definitely on my mind every day of how can I grow in my faith in many different aspects, whether that's reading my Bible, whether that's my communication, my attitude, like many different ways. But obviously, trying to be consistent in reading the Bible, or just getting some form of wisdom from the Bible or from a
right.
mentor. You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan. Well, I don't do this very well, if I should word my words better, of reading my Bible every day. Now, I do get in the
Mm,
rhythm. I'm like, all right, like I'm doing great. But then as soon as I get busy, it's like I forget. I just get super tired and let that
mm,
overtake. But I do can say that I try to get some form of wisdom, whether that's from a mentor about the Bible or
mm,
about how to do life as a man of Christ every single day. Um, Obviously that doesn't always work out either, but that's kind of where I look at things. But also just working on myself, man.
mm,
Just trying to better myself every single day, dude. I know what I struggle with. I know what I have difficulties in, and so I try to ask God, hey, put me in those situations. Like allow me to
mm.
be in those situations, so that way
I
I
love
can learn.
that.
That way I can grow. And it's as hard as it may be. Like I just got out of a situation that I had to really grow in and mature in, not too long ago, and
I know.
like yeah, and so like I
I
had
know.
to, yeah, So I had to
Yeah.
like really ask God, like, look, Meryl, I don't know how to go about this, but will you guide me in this? Will you challenge me in this? So
Mm,
that way I can grow and learn from the situation. And it may not always be easy. And I have to really drop my pride and my ego a lot, which hurts. But
mm.
it's definitely worth it. And it's definitely a journey that I'm walking on daily, that I feel like there's a lot of growth in. Obviously, I make mistakes here and there, but I'm definitely doing better than that. And so that's definitely one of the ways. So I try to grow every single day for sure. So
Bro, a big part of like growing that I've learned, and then I heard this in a sermon with Billy Graham. You can think about this in regards to, you know, if you struggle with smoking, you struggle with drinking, you struggle with sexual sin. He said he was talking about temptation, and I don't even know if this is probably not even along the lines of what you're talking about, but like he just said, you know, the best thing that you can do is just say no.
mm,
And it doesn't matter, like with anything you struggle with. Like I heard Craig Groeschel one time say, you grow with your nose. And so for me, like I've started, like you said, like I've never actually heard anyone say what you said. God put me in a position to grow, like put me in a bad position so I can learn. I'm not gonna lie, that prayer scares me, dog. like
it
like it's
does.
hard, but no, I mean, yeah, like I've realized lately, like the best way that you can grow is just by saying no. Like, because man, there's gonna be so many times when your flesh is like, "Yo, go hang out with that chick," because you know that
Yeah.
um, you can probably end up, you know, doing something and
Yeah.
making yourself happy or whatever. But it's like, no, don't do that. That's not my will. That's not what I want for your life. It's like, yo, I want you to go. Hey, bro, do you want to come drink with us? You want to come smoke? You want to come, do whatever? And it's like, no, I'm good. Like saying no is one of the hardest things in the world, but I think that's that's why the word holy means the word holy means set apart. And so we're not called to be
Absolutely.
we're not called to be like everyone else. We're called to be set apart and to say no to certain things. So
Yeah. I think when you ask those bold prayers, man, and you ask those bold questions, dude, like he answers those a lot of the times. And but
mm,
that's where we need to grow. I always talk about like if we don't have challenges in our lives, our faith is gonna be very stagnant. Our growth is going to be
yeah,
very stagnant, and so those challenges and those situations and those problems allow us to really build our faith and really grow in our relationship, because it's like if we don't have situations and if we don't have problems, why do we need God? You know what I mean? If we're perfect,
come on,
essentially, why do we need God? And it's like we need to go through these things. We need to have these moments where we grow. The disciples had moments where they had to learn and they had to grow in
sure,
their faith through many different challenges that they had to go out. When they first was called out and God was like, "You're gonna heal. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that," and they're like, "What are you talking about? Like I'm just a normal human being." And God's like, "No, watch what I do in your life." But they had to go out there and experience those things in order for them to see that they can do those things that God called them to do. And so I think
sure,
that's just the challenge that we all could take and look at in our daily lives of I'm running out of storage here. I don't know why it's telling me that. But
that's crazy.
looking at our
It should
lives
be fine.
and yeah, and looking at our lives and say, listen, how can I grow in my faith? How can I be challenged every single day? And you notice from us being athletes and different things like
Mm,
that, like we love challenges. We love being
mm,
faced with adversity. So how can we do that every single day in our faith as well? How can we be challenging our faith every single day so that way we can grow? And if we didn't have the challenges that we had in our lives, we wouldn't be here right now. You know what I mean?
mm.
We would just be kind of just off in the wilderness or whatever, doing whatever we want. But because we had those things, allowed us to be in the position that we're in, allowed us to have the faith that we have, allow us to be committed to the Lord like we are right now. So I do take very much a lot of encouragement and a lot of confidence in asking those difficult and challenging questions. So
I think that's like what Paul, when Paul said that, I boast in my weakness because I know in my weakness that, Christ is strong. And like, I mean, dude, I wouldn't have this podcast right now if I didn't go through a bunch of stuff. Like,
yeah,
I wouldn't, I mean, we wouldn't be here, right? Like, we wouldn't be having this convo right now. And
absolutely.
um, it's so crazy. Like, I think that college actually builds a foundation for you to be able to handle like real life situations whenever you get older. Because, like, sometimes I think that our problems are big, and I'm not belittling our problems,
Yeah,
but like, I mean, the problems we have right now, I would say, are not as difficult as like maybe the problems you're going to have whenever you're a husband and a father, and you're having to not only worry about what's on your plate, but what's on other people's plates. And so
right.
I think that right now the Lord is using us to challenge us and to grow us and to say, I'm going to prepare you now, if you allow me to. When you're in a position one day, for me, I do want to be a husband and a father. That's a big desire
Right.
of my heart. And I love the Lord, and I want a chance to, do the best that I can do for, a family one day. And I believe you. I'm talking to you. I know that you desire the same. And
Oh, absolutely.
so, yeah. And so, like, yeah, it's just crazy to me though. Like, um, we're at such a young age, and I'm not trying to hype us up by any means, but like, you know, being around like huddle leaders and FCA people, like it is encouraging sometimes to see, yo, I'm not the only one that is trying to live for the Lord. Like,
Mm.
because I think sometimes, for me at least, there have been moments in my life where I've been like, okay, well, I'm the only one that, not in a righteous way or anything. Like, I'm the only one that loves the Lord. Like, um, around me. Like I'm the only one, I guess, that is saying no to these things. Like I'm the only one that's, doing this or doing that. But it's like in reality that's not true. Like there are other people out there, like, you may think, man, like I love the Lord, and this girl, she's not about that. And so for some reason, then maybe I'm too Jesus-y or whatever. But no, like there's gonna be a girl out there that absolutely loves how Jesus-y you are. And so you don't need to
Amen.
stop you need to stop being that way. And so I just want you to tell me, like in your life, what is some ways you've gotten connected with community, like accountability, and just
Mm.
having good fellowship, bro. Because like for me, Spencer Cowgill, had him on recently. He's been amazing, bro. Like for me, just having community and it cut out for a second, but I'll just
Yeah,
start
yeah.
talking again. And having that fellowship with Spencer has been really awesome for me. And so, yeah, just
Mm.
tell me like what it is that you've done to get more fellowship or community, maybe in your church plant, with FCA at ETBU, just whatever way you've been able to get some of
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, from very early on in my faith, man, I've been surrounded with some absolutely amazing people. It all started with me when I was 18, 19. I took an internship with FCA in Baton Rouge, man, and that summer, I met some of my closest friends. I call family to this day,
Mm,
and we spent the entire. When I say the entire summer together, we spent the entire summer together. Like we had something planned every weekend. We went out and hung out every weekend. It's like 30 of us too, by the way. Like, it's like
dang.
30, like 18 to like 23-year-olds hanging out every single weekend, just having a blast, dude. And we're in Baton Rouge, and most of them went to LSU, and most of them were kind of in central Louisiana area too as well. And that was the first time where I looked and I said, "This is real community. Like this is real people
Yeah.
that genuinely care for me and care for my faith, but also my life." And they challenged me. I tell people this all the time, dude. They were one of the first people to be like, "Listen, bro, this is how we live out our faith. Either you hop on the train or you can't come. Either
Dang.
you get your crap together or you can't hang with us." And I'm 18. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what? What are we talking about right now? But like that's what I needed to wake up to realize where
Mm,
I was in the gift that the Lord has provided me with having community, and that I needed to grow in my faith, and I needed to really start developing my relationship with Him. And so that was step one for me, and I keep them people around 24/7 now. But now it's like my college ministry at my church, New Beginnings. Shout out New Beginnings. Love my church
yeah.
out there. My college ministry out there have been huge in my community and in my faith. Obviously, my FCA team that I'm a part of at ECBU has been huge with some of the most amazing people that I could have asked for there as well. Like I'm surrounded so much with my roommates as well. Like I'm surrounded by so much community. It's not even funny.
Mm.
Like I have to force myself to go in my room just to kind of give myself a break from people.
That's a good
Which
thing to have.
yeah, which is a blessing, bro. Like you said, it's a good thing to have. So like I'm not mad at that at all. Which is I am so blessed to have the community that I have and the people that I can always call on for advice and for discipleship. And obviously I have a discipleship mentor as well. I have many. I feel like I have many from my uncle
Mm,
Hollis Conway, who was an Olympian and been at the highest of levels, who worked for FCA, to my one of my college pastors, Luke, and then Ira and Hayden and all of them. You know these guys I'm talking about.
mm.
And so having those people and having multiple connections and community and people that I can call on at any time and just get the best advice from, dude, I'm so blessed with the community I have, man. Like I couldn't ask for anything better. So
Bro, it's so crazy. Like you said, like if you don't get on this, like you got to get off this train.
yeah.
That's so funny to me, but it's so true because like for me, it was so funny. We got to scramble recently in golf. Do you ever golf or not?
Dude, that's the next sport I'm learning.
Bro,
Actually,
we
while I'm
hey,
out here, I think we're going to the driving range here in a couple of days, actually. So,
bro, I gotta get my boy into golf. If we
dude,
do end up working for FCA one day, you gotta golf.
listen,
It's like an
listen.
essential.
I'm getting old. I'm about to retire. All right.
Facts.
So like, I got to get in my retirement golf phase, man. I'm
I
behind right
love it.
now.
Uh, but bro, so it was me, my stepbrother Zach Shields, who I don't even call my stepbrother. So let's erase that. Actually, it was my brother Zach, my best friend Hudson, and my other best friend Caleb Hewitt. We were scrambling, and it's funny because Hudson and Caleb are brother-in-laws, and me and Zach are technically stepbrothers. So we scrambled and we said it's the brothers-in-law versus the stepbrothers. And we were playing and we kind of paused because like this like my boys, man, them and Stetson Smithson, they're like my best friends. Like we talk every day. We hold each other accountable every day. And it was the craziest thing to me. I had some people like I've had people recently who have reached out to me, like maybe I need to stop posting about playing golf so much on my story because like I had people reach out and like, yo, where's my invite? Like, when am I gonna get to come play? And like you said, like, I'm not trying to like, sound bad or anything, but like
Yeah.
I realized like I was like, yo, this is my fellowship time. Like whenever I'm doing this with them, like this is whenever we get like the nitty gritty out, like the things that we're not gonna tell everybody. And I feel bad, but I've just kind of been like, okay, nah, like you and me can play sometime, but like this is the time with my boys whenever we
Yeah.
play.
Right.
And yeah, and
Yeah.
I think
No,
it's
I completely understand. So
yeah. So let's transition though, because the one reason I wanted to get you on here is because I think
yeah.
you display such great leadership skills. And so what I mean by that is, RJ is always one of the first people to serve, one of the first people to ask, hey, how can I help? He speaks up a lot. He has a big voice, not a loud voice, but like it's just like when, whenever he speaks up, people listen. And so I want to ask you, like, what are some things that you've been intentional about? Because I know that, like, obviously, like, it's something you're passionate about because you do it so much and you do it so easily, honestly. Well, not easily, but like naturally, I'd say.
Yeah.
What are some things that go through your mind whenever you're leading huddles, whenever you're even leading like huddle leaders, and like just what's some leadership skills that you could say maybe that you could give to some people or talk about to some people?
Yeah. Hey, are you still recording? Because mine stopped.
Mine says it's still recording.
My time stopped on my side. Oh well.
Hmm.
We can cut this part.
If that does happen, we got 30 minutes in, so
Yeah. Okay.
we'll cut if we have
Uh,
to.
yeah. No, totally fine. What I was gonna do is try to delete some videos, but I think it'll be good.
Mm.
Anyways, I forgot the question that fast.
What do you
Oh,
do? Like what leadership skills?
yeah. Man, I honestly, like you said, for me, it just comes natural.
Mm.
Like it's just a natural thing for
I'm
me
just
to
him.
just yeah, no. It's natural for me to just speak up, dude. Cause like I am firm in what I believe and what I stand for, and I'm gonna always hold myself accountable to that standard, and
Mm.
also hold my teammates and my friends to that standard as well. But as far as it comes to huddle leaders, man, some of these places that we've been together, some of these camps that we worked together, I know I was one of those kids before. I know I was in
Mm.
one of
Yeah.
those situations before. Like I've been through those tough times before, and I've had people come into my life that poured into my life so much that saved me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so my mindset is like, how can I do the same for the next generation? It's only fair that I do the same for the next generation. God has placed me
Absolutely.
here to do it for the next generation. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just me being obedient to Christ and listening to Christ, saying Christ is like, look, I place people in your life so you can get your head on straight, and so I expect you to do the same for others.
Mm.
And that's kind of how I go about it. I'm like, how can I pour into these guys? How can I show these guys that I love them, that I care for them, that they have somebody to go to on a daily basis that truly and dearly loves them, like nobody's before, besides Christ.
Mm.
And so I guess that's where my leadership skills come in at. It's just like, dude, I just want to be able to love on them, and want
Mm.
to be able to care for them, because I know many of them hadn't had that or felt that before, or don't know what that looks like. And so I've been blessed with the opportunity for people to show me what that looks like. I've learned what that looks like, and so now I'm just trying to pass it on to the next
Mm.
generation, whether that's high school, middle school, even college, man. Like just trying to be there for people, and help them gain a community, gain people
Mm.
that they can
Yeah.
be around. That's going to tell them the truth, but that's going to love them through that as well, and support them and have their back through the thick and thin. And so that's kind of how my mindset is. I've been blessed with mentors and people that came into my life, and so it's only fair that I do it for others and for the next
Facts.
generation. So, yeah.
Yeah, because for me, like, yeah, I mean, an example of someone who's like discipled me, um, and just absolutely impacted my life in an amazing way is Darius Dunaway. Like bro, he has literally like, it's so funny, man. Anytime I get discouraged, he's just like, "What Bible say? What Bible say?"
That's his favorite line. His favorite
Yeah,
line.
like, "What Bible say?" And I'm like, "It says this." He's like, "Don't you think you should do that?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." But it's like,
Right?
Yeah, and it's so crazy. Like, I remember even like a kid at FCA camp. Like, I remember sitting down with him and talking with him for dang near an hour, telling me he was struggling with I'll just say certain thoughts because it's not my business to tell his business.
Mm.
But I kept telling him, man, what does 2 Corinthians 10:5 say? And he said, and I would repeat it back to him. And he says, what does it say, bro? I just went blank. What in the world, bro? I ain't never done that. No, but it says, oh, take every thought captive and make it obedient to
Mm.
Christ. And that's been something that's changed my life. And but I kept having him repeat it over and over. Take every thought captive, and he would go, take every thought captive, and I'd say, and make it obedient to Christ. And he'd say, and make it obedient to Christ. And like we kept practicing this over and over and over again. And I just sat and I was just like, yo, this is like stuff Darius has done with me, like this is stuff that you know Todd has done with me. This is stuff that Jay Cliff has done with me, and being able to give that back um, is just amazing. Like I heard KB, the rapper
Yeah.
KB, was talking about how uh, he got like this dude handed him like a gospel album, and it was like a Christian rap album, and he was on like the eighth song, and he was listening to it and hearing like about like the blood of Jesus, and he literally like gave his life to Christ when he was like 16 in his bedroom just from listening to that song, and he said that it was his life's mission from that point on to replicate the feeling that he had in other people's lives. And for me, like I've begun to realize that like man, no matter what happens, whether I'm blessed to go overseas and play basketball, whether I coach, whether I am able, am I, whether I'm blessed to work for FCA, like have that opportunity. It's just like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, but I want to replicate the feelings and um, the hope that people have given me.
Mm.
And I want to share Jesus with as many kids as I can. Like I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to do with my life occupationally, but that's all I know, bro. I want people to see Jesus through me. Like whenever people think about me, I don't want them to say Caleb Anderson's a great basketball player. I want people to say Caleb Anderson loves Jesus. He loves other people well. He lives each day with great intention. He's inspiring. He's encouraging. Like those are the things I want people to say about me. And I'm not saying that I've failed in life if they don't say those things, but like that's my goal.
Right.
Like so, and I
It's
feel
the
like you have a similar goal.
Yeah, it's the legacy that you leave, man. That's actually one of the things I talked about with my boys in Colorado.
Mm,
And like I asked them, I said, hey, what do you want to get out of this? Or more important, I said, what do you want people to remember you as?
mm,
Like when you leave this earth, and people have to have conversations about you, or people show up to your funeral, or people show up to whatever they do for you. Like, what do you want them to say? You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I don't want people to know me as just a track athlete. I don't want people to know me just as an athlete. I want people to know me as a true follower of Christ who was on
Mm.
fire for the Lord, as a person who cared for everybody, as a person who wasn't afraid to share his opinion, although it may have got him in trouble a little bit. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want people to know me as. You know what
That's
I mean?
good.
As a guy who's just like deep, dark hearted for the Lord, but wasn't shy away from his struggles and his sins.
Right.
Who wasn't afraid to say he wasn't perfect. And I
Mm,
told him that, and I challenged him that. I said, "Listen, man, look, you only got one life, bro. Like,
mm,
you only do this thing one time, dog. Like, how did you want to be remembered?" And it was a legacy thing. It's something that I always talk about with my uncle. It's like, how do you want to be remembered? And
mm,
obviously, everybody, you're gonna have some people that just, no matter what you do, you can't please. And no matter what you do, they're always
facts.
gonna say negative things about you. But at the end of the day, if the majority is sitting here saying the exact same thing, we know what the truth is. You know what I mean?
Facts.
We know the legacy that you left. There's gonna always be some outcasts who just doesn't like you for whatever reason. But
Mm,
that's fine. Like that's no big deal. But for the majority of how do you want people to remember you? I want people to know me as a child of God. Simple as that. Anything else is just extra. Any accolades,
mm,
that's just extra. That's just bonus. But I want to hear it. RJ was a child of God. RJ was on fire for the Lord. RJ was a soldier for the kingdom day in and day out, even through his struggles and his difficulties. And so that's kind of how I look at it, and that's kind of how I kind of teach my boys, my guys, and lead them in that way too as
that was extremely beautiful. That was awesome. That was awesome. Like I think about the same thing, bro. Like I think I read a book called Shaken by Tim Tebow, and
well.
in his have you read that?
Yeah, I have the book. I haven't finished it, but I have the book. Yes.
Brother, it is so good. His his 10th chapter. I can't remember exactly what it is called, but it's basically like talking about like making it count. And he's just talking about how like he talks about how a lot of us numb um how do I say this? He's basically talking about we numb the fact that we know we're not gonna live forever, and like
Mm.
we don't actually think about it. So like for me, I think it's healthy to think about the fact that you're not gonna live forever. Like I don't think that we should just act like we're invincible, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's good for you to think about the fact that you're gonna leave a legacy behind. Like, what do you want it to be? Like,
Yeah.
so I think a lot of people. Uh, I'm not. What's the word? I'm not knocking. Like watching TV shows and loving entertainment and stuff like that. But like for me, I mean, like I don't watch TV as much anymore. Like I'm not like addicted to like
Yeah.
I'm not addicted to just sitting on my phone and just like playing the game, watching movies all the time and stuff like that. Like now when I got a lot of free time, like bro, I'm gonna play the game with my friends, but like I have not played video games in a month. And I kind of sat back and I realized I was like, why have I not played video games in a month? And I was like, it's because I've been serving so much.
Mm.
It's because
Yeah.
I've been out working camp. I've worked 3 camps in the last 4 weeks. I worked
Yeah.
Arkansas FCA camp, the Reeves Brothers basketball camp, and the Colorado FCA camp. And I'm just like, yo, if I don't have time to entertain myself because I'm too busy doing what God wants me to do, that's a really good reason
Yeah.
not to be doing something that honestly is not going to benefit me in the long run.
Yeah.
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 So, but RJ, it has been fun, man. It has been fun having you on the pod. I'm so glad I got to get you on. That's how I know it's good because I've lost track of time. So
Not same.
that's how I know it's a good episode. Um, but brother, I love you. I'm thankful for you, and I appreciate you coming on the podcast, man. So,
Dude, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, bro. Our relationship is strong, and
mm,
obviously I look up to you a lot, man, in many ways. And so I
now
appreciate
look
you
at
having me
you.
on. I appreciate you having me on, brother. Hopefully I can get back on again when I
Yes,
got more
yes,
time. Obviously, people have been blowing my phone up because I'm like supposed to be somewhere, but this is so much better
for sure.
than where I'm
Yeah.
going. And so you have been a blessing to so many people and so many kids and to my life too as well. And so you keep doing what you're doing, bro. Hey, listen, man. I can shout you out. Go blow up the podcast, guys. Like,
Yeah.
go give this man a follow. Go check it out. It's the
Appreciate
real
it.
deal. He's the real deal, man. Like, this is not just me just trying to, try to get a hookup, but like, this is legit. Like, he's the real dude, man. In and out of the podcast, man. So,
Mm.
y'all go check him out. Go give him a follow. And hopefully I'll see you soon, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the kind words, and I'm not even gonna say bye to the people. Like you did good. So,
All
all right, see
right.
y'all.
All right, brother. See you later.
Ah.